Howdy folks, I'm Aaron Erbium, erroneously erasing erratically etched ermines.
I'm Amber.
And Amber, why are the ermines erratically etched?
Someone went through with an Etch-a-Sketch and drew a bunch of ermines kind of erratically.
I see, I had a very different vision of what etched ermines were. Let's get started. And speaking of etched ermines, our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Laughing at My Boyfriend's Mother when she said that I couldn't use their noble name when I get divorced? And I'm assuming that noble name is Ermine. I don't know how to explain this, but my boyfriend of 4 years has a noble surname, and apparently the same laws don't apply to having certain noble names. Like, if you marry into a noble family, you get that surname, but you can't pass it down to your own family if you get divorced. I have no idea, and I really don't care, since I come from a different culture where women don't take their husband's surnames anyways. My boyfriend's mother never really liked me, and she's always mentioned that I'm not one of them. When confronted, she makes it about me not being married yet. Now my boyfriend and I are talking about marriage, and she's in full panic mode, where we were invited to dinner with the rest of the family, and people were happy about the news that we are talking about getting married. I think my boyfriend has got the ring, to be honest, and is waiting for the right moment. My boyfriend's mother was rabid and restless, going back and forth, trying to listen in. Then she literally yelled that I couldn't keep that name and give it to my children when we got divorced because it's a noble name. Everyone was silent, and I burst out laughing, and I told her that I couldn't care less about nobility, since this is not Downton Abbey, and that I wasn't even sure I wanted to change my surname when we got married. She was shaking with anger, and said that I would be honored to even get that name. I said, let's agree to disagree there. I would be honored to be my boyfriend's wife, and nothing more. Many laughed at my comments, especially the Downton Abbey one. She wasn't pleased with the laughing. Later, my boyfriend told me that I was a jerk for laughing at his mother. I should have taken the high ground. I don't think that I was a jerk. She was ridiculous, and honestly, it's a jerk move for talking about divorce before I'm even married. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk? Take the high road, the low road, or the middle road?
Not the jerk. I mean, presumably OP's boyfriend's mom has been on this earth longer than OP, so you'd think she, of all people, would have had time to learn the high road. I really don't like this whole, I know this person's being garbage and no one's standing up for you, but, you know, you gotta take the high road.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that OP laughed out of just the sheer ridiculousness of it. Like, it's absurd to even suggest and be like, oh, you won't be able to keep this name in the future. And OP's like, well, I'm not even married yet, and I don't even know if I'm keeping the name. So, I don't know. Like, I don't know that her comments were all that out of pocket.
Well, that too. Like, it wasn't like she was like, oh, you're horrible and I hate you and your family and I would dread to have this last name or something.
Yeah, I think that it would be completely different if OP had actually said something that was insulting, but she just said that the name doesn't matter to me, which should make the mother happy because she isn't actually planning on usurping their name when she finally gets a divorce. So I don't know. I don't know what her problem is, but I don't think that OP did anything terribly wrong here. Maybe laughing at her was wrong, but I don't know.
I mean, certainly mother-in-law is a far guiltier party in all of this. I don't know that I can fault OP, but I think it's worth having a sit-down and investigating why her boyfriend thinks it's okay for his mom to basically insinuate that OP is trying to steal their name.
Their precious name.
And be talking about divorce before they're even married, and why he expects OP to, like, what he expected OP to do in that situation. Because it's important for OP and her husband to be on the same page when it comes to his mom. And, hopefully this isn't indicative of more bad behavior for him.
All I can say is they're very noble. That's all I can say. Too noble for me. Anyhow, take care and good luck, OP. And Go-Kart says, don't you mean if you get divorced? Red flag. And OP replies, she literally said when. And Go-Kart's like, ouch, my bad. And Briscoe County Senior says, Taking the high road may have been more noble thing to do for sure. Tragically, you lack a noble name, so I don't see how you could be expected to. And OP just laughs at that. And Aware Ad 9943 says, not the jerk. That was too ridiculous not to laugh at. But your boyfriend needs to start defending you from his terrible mom before becoming your fiance, or the marriage won't work. He can't leave you on the front lines to be attacked by his mother like that. And OP replies, this is good. I didn't think of it that way. He does need to stand up for me more because he never interferes. I will talk to him.
Yeah, that's what I was...
Yeah, good job. Congratulations.
Yeah, hopefully it gets resolved well, but that's what I was worried about, was that this is a continued pattern of behavior of, oh, but you just have to let my mom walk all over you.
Yeah. Speaking of letting your mom walk all over you, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Moving Me and My Newborn into the RV after my mother-in-law and husband tried giving it away? I'm feeling incredibly grossed out, so maybe this is hormones talking. I just gave birth a couple of weeks ago. Back in March, my husband and I bought an RV for $2,500 that needed new floors, some patchwork on the roof, the skylight windows, and some updated appliances. All summer, we worked on the RV and we sunk in over $4,000. The only thing left to complete is the updated appliances, but it's not necessary. Obviously, since we had just had our baby though, that's being put on hold. But we still intended on having it completed by next summer, so we could go camping and traveling around for a few months. That's why we got the RV, to begin with. Now, my husband's sister, Jamie, is having marital problems, apparently. And for whatever reason, my mother-in-law thought that it would be okay to tell Jamie that she could have our RV, since we aren't using it anyways. We are in no contact with Jamie, following her running her mouth about us to the rest of the family, because I refused to watch her dog for free anymore, because I was heavily pregnant and her dog is a big untrained nuisance. We haven't spoke to Jamie in at least 3 months. We went 100% no contact when we found out that she was heavily trashing our names. So why mother-in-law would give our stuff to Jamie baffles me on so many levels. Therefore, when mother-in-law came and said, I told Jamie that she could have your RV because she needs to get out of her house. We already have renovation plans for the camper. I was mad. I asked her why she would give our stuff away when it isn't hers, and why she would think that this was acceptable. She pulled the family helps family card and pay it forward talk. And much to my surprise, my husband said, whatever. She was already told my sister that she could have it, and maybe it's good karma. He was mad, but still agreed to just give it away. I basically told them both to go away because I worked hard on this RV all summer, while uncomfortable and pregnant, and I'm not going to give it away to somebody I've gone no contact with. My husband told his mom that he would bring the RV to his sister's within a week. Without doing much thinking at all, honestly, I just packed up my stuff and the baby, and I moved us into the RV. I'm not okay with giving the RV away, and they both know it. So I took the extreme route. My husband says that I'm being overdramatic, and that we can just get another RV eventually. We can't even afford to buy a new one come camping season. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. And I am very concerned about this whole situation. You can't go around promising other people's stuff. If I were like, oh, hey, yeah, you can totally have my sister's car because she's not driving it. That's not going to fly.
No, I don't know why the mother thought this was acceptable to give away their stuff. And I don't know why OP's husband thinks that this is acceptable either.
Right, like just because you said someone can have something, if it's not yours to give away, it's not a promise that you can fulfill.
Yeah, I mean, this would be like walking up to a random building and being like, you can have it.
Yeah, like Brian can tell me that I can have X building all he wants to, but that doesn't, entitle me to ownership.
Amber, you can have the moon.
Why, thank you, but I can't actually have the moon.
No, it's yours. It's yours now. The moon belongs to you. Anyone who disputes this will have to fight for it on the moon.
I'm not going to the moon, so they'll have a fun time fighting themselves.
So, yeah, I think that this is just absurd. I don't know why OP's husband isn't standing up for her.
Right. Well, and they've invested $6,500 plus all the time and energy into this. It's not even like a trivial thing like a ring pop or something. Like, this is something they've put a lot of work into, and he's just willing to throw it away because his mom is like, well, what else does his mom do?
Yeah. Well, okay. And also, I would want to know more information about the sister situation as well here, because suppose she's like in an abusive situation and she really needs to get out of there and find a place that she can live, then an RV might be a nice place for her to catch a break for a little while. And I'm not saying that OP should give it away, but maybe she could live in it for a couple of weeks until she gets on her feet or something like that, right? But again, like I said, I don't think that this should be being given away at all. It would be very generous of them to offer to even let her use it.
Well, and where this is joint property, it needs to be a joint decision. And I think OP is well within her right to not want sister-in-law to have it, especially if, like, it's one of those situations where even if it's borrowed, it's not really borrowed, it's no longer yours. Like, it feels like if they hand it over, it's never coming back.
Well, I mean, in this particular case, I'm just saying, in a normal situation with a mother-in-law who isn't trying to steal your stuff. And also, I like how they're saying that OP took the extreme route when they literally gave away someone else's possessions. That's pretty extreme, wouldn't you think?
Well, and he's not even considering his own wife. Like, he's listening to his mother over his wife. The two of them are the only ones who have a stake in this camper. His mom does not. And I am very concerned that he's like, oh, well, whatever my mom says goes. It overrules you.
Yeah. What they should say is, oh, yeah, Ma, you can give the camper to her, but you need to pay us $12,000 or something like that, and then see how fast this we'll sell it to you. We'll sell it to you for $12,000, but we're not going to give it away, right? And see how fast she says no. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Celtic Muse Book says, has your husband always been a mother's boy, or is this a new behavior? Is it possible that he's having trouble stepping up and being a dad, so is regressing to be a mother's good boy? Not the jerk for refusing to allow your mother-in-law to give away your $6,500 investment, not including the sweet equity, to a sister-in-law who has trashed you to the rest of the family. Pro tip to mother-in-law: family doesn't trash family, so sister-in-law is no longer family. Whose name is on the title of the RV? And OP replies, he actually isn't even what I would consider a mother's boy. Both his parents failed him growing up, and he ended up in the system for over 2 years before his mom got custody back. And then she didn't even take him. He ended up bouncing between his grandmother's and brother's home. So he isn't even close to either of his parents, but for whatever reason, he still never says no to them. Granted, he's made to feel insanely guilty and harped on constantly when he puts his foot down. So he is a mother's boy. I think the term mama's boy is someone who acquiesces always to their mother's will.
This might be marriage counseling if you want to save this relationship, because he needs to recognize that he is in a relationship with his wife, not his parents. And he can't, no matter how much guilting they do, he can't just go on and do whatever his parents say.
Yeah, exactly. And Pudawada says, if you're handy with an engine in any ways, you could do something to disable the engine. Something that will make it impossible to start, so he can't take it when you turn your back. Take a couple of spark plug wires off, remember how they go back on, or remove a key fuse or something hard to diagnose. And OP replies, I did remove a key fuse. I didn't add that in the OP because I figured that would make me look like a terrible person. And no, OP, I don't think that makes you look like a terrible person.
No, not when he's trying to steal the, like, I mean, it's part his property, but it's part yours, and you have to come up with an agreement together how you're going to use it.
Yeah, exactly. And Psychology Neat 6993 says, why can't his sis move in with his mom? Not the jerk. Hubby needs to grow a spine and stand up to his family, and mother-in-law needs to stop spending other people's money. And OP replied, she apparently was given the option with moving in with mother-in-law, but she needs her own space. Oh, so she's a choosy beggar on top of that.
Yeah.
All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here. And Amber, she has yet another jovial Bobstein joke. Maybe it'll be an improvement from yesterday, but it'll probably just be another vampire joke.
What did Frankenstein think of his own creation?
he thought that his own creation was a vampire, and that's why he was so shocked when the Frankenstein got up and broke through the wall. And he was shocked by Frankenstein. Shocked.
He thought it was shocking.
Yeah, see? That's what I said.
There are
Shocking.
no vampires in there. You're trying to throw vampires where there aren't, just so you can prove your point about there being too many vampires in here.
That's not at all something that I would do. That doesn't sound like me. And I have Mega Mint. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Wednesday, Hump Day, Friday, Junior's Eve, whatever you want to call it. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please, have it in the form of an inspirational quote on a sign that you might see while driving in an RV.
Look how far you've come. You couldn't have gotten here if you let your mom give away your camper.
That's some good words of advice. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!